All right. Second part of the Retire Now movement for those that are 40 and up. Again, the Retire Now movement is the concept of mentally going through the process of closing your eyes and saying, if I were to retire now, what would my life look like? And then doing it today. You don't have to wait till you're retired to do a lot of the things that you close your eyes and think of that will make you happiest in this world. Last week, I talked about doing this in your 20s and your 30s. Today, I'm going to focus on your 40s, 50s, and 60s. So now we're getting to people who can actually start to see and taste retirement, who have and the benefits. So let's talk about us 40-year-olds, which I can safely say now. So what's the benefit of retiring now? So for us in our 40s, you're generally somewhere in your halfway mark of your working career. You put in 20 some years, you generally have 20 some years left on average. Now, what this can do is you can take stock. Before the train officially leaves the station from your career, you can start to think, is this where you want to spend the rest of your career? You now have a skill set, most likely that you're pretty good at, whether it's being a chef or a financial planner or a doctor or attorney or an engineer. And you can keep going on your current path, or this is honestly the last time you may be able to take these skills and repurpose it to something that brings more joy or happiness or fulfillment into your life. So for me, if it wasn't giving financial advice to others, maybe it's in a personal setting, maybe it's coaching, maybe it's teaching at a university and still taking my skill set, but doing something that perhaps I may enjoy more. So I think that's first and foremost. Second is by taking stock and thinking through your retirement now, what you would do, you're really in a unique position. Generally in your 40s, if you have a family, your kids are still at that fun age or still young enough that they appreciate you. Your parents, if you're lucky enough to have them, are generally also still at an age where you can enjoy them and they can enjoy you, and you can go on vacations and trips with them. They're not, typically in their 60s and 70s, not their 80s and 90s. So they still have some zest for doing things with you. And it's really an enviable age, your 40s. So I think taking stock and looking at what's most important to you and really being grateful and appreciating those little things and maximizing them is what I hope people get out of Retire Now in their 40s. Now, if we shift gears to your 50s, which is the next sort of decade to focus on, what's the benefit of the Retire Now in your 50s? So this typically is most people's last full decade of working. You're really getting close to seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and it ain't the train, it's retirement. So additionally, I think it's worth noting, 50s is probably the number one age someone comes and seeks out our services, because I guess they can see retirement, they want to make sure they're in a position to retire, and they know they got a limited time left to work. So Retire Now in your 50s gives you is a fun age and gives you a lot of flexibility. So first of all, it may be your last chance to have kids at home, things of that nature, and you can really prioritize what's most important in your friend and family life. Additionally, you typically hit your top earning potential in your 50s. So these individuals can go start doing more things, can actually start financially doing what they want to do in retirement now, whether that's more traveling, buying a boat, buying a second house. You can start to position your finances when you start thinking about how you want to live your retirement life. If it is being at a shore house or a lake house or things of that nature, maybe now's the time to purchase it and start enjoying it and living that lifestyle. So I think the Retire Now in your 50s is really eye-opening and is that gut check and that dry run, if you will, to start getting your finances in order, working with a professional, getting your mental state in order, and actually not just thinking through or testing things, but actually putting some things in motion. So I think that's an important component about Retire Now in your 50s. And then when we look at your 60s, this is maybe the most critical time to go through this exercise. Not that your 20 through 50s, I think, are not critically important, but your 60s this is it. Whether you're going to retire 62 or 65, 67, whatever it is, this is where you got to really think through what that retirement means to you, what you want to get out of it and enlist it out of retirement. Because that'll start to have you, make sure your financials are in line and can support this lifestyle. And this is something I know we take a lot of pride in at our firm, Diversified. And 2, you get to do what I love to call retirement date. So if you have it in your 50s and you're first watching this in your 60s and listening and going through this exercise, start dating these retirement concepts. Do you want to live in Florida or South Carolina? Do you want to live on the East Coast or West Coast? You know what? Go spend a week or 2 in an Airbnb on both. Go test drive them. Go rent a boat. See if it's really the lifestyle you want or you want to just rent. Go rent an RV. Go on a cruise and take 2 weeks off from work. You've earned it. Life will go on, and start test driving so that when you retire, there's no wasted time, because that is our number one resource. So I'd rather see individuals test it out, work with a financial professional, work with their family and their passions, and see what they want to be doing in retirement so that when that day comes and they have their 3 bad days in a row, or they've hit their 40 years and get their gold watch, that they retire to something, not from something. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed my self-proclaimed retire now movement. Maybe it'll catch on. Maybe it's just a catchy little thing that it will live here for 2 blogs. But anyways, I'm Andrew Rosen, president of Diversified. Hope you enjoyed this installment. As always, stay wealthy, stay healthy, and stay happy.